Hi, this is Kevin Vick with Crucible Arms, and welcome to our first video. You can see we're in our fancy studio here. I've got Huguenot behind the camera doing his thing, and he's my brother. So anyway, I thought we'd take a look at the 1911. Yeah, everybody does 1911 reviews, but what's new about this one? This is the Ruger SR1911. Brand new from them, came out in May, I guess it was, end of April. I got it just a couple weeks after it had turned up. I was just really lucky, and it showed up in the gun shop right down the street from where I live here. So anyway, picked it up, brought it home, and wanted to talk about what I like about the Ruger as compared to maybe a lot of other models. Obviously, tons and tons of people make 1911s. Everybody's got different styles and features, and what I like to say about this one is, in my opinion, it's got everything you need and nothing you don't. So we'll go through that a little bit today. First thing we'll do is make sure that we safety check. We always do. It has been safety checked, but I always double check. There you go. Nothing in the mag well. Nothing in the chamber inside there, so we always exercise good gun safety. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the history. Most of you know it, but we do have some new viewers. You know, this is the 100th anniversary of the 1911, hence the term 1911. That's when the gun was originally designed by John Brownings, the actually miracle worker in terms of gunsmithing. Since 1913, this was the handgun of choice for the U.S. military, all the way up to 1986. In 1986, they went to the FS92. The wonderful Beretta design in the 9mm. This is 45 ACP. But it's still used today in a lot of law enforcement, and it's also used in a lot of special operations, and it's loved by shooters all over the world, including myself. It is one of my favorite handguns. If you don't have a 1911 in your collection, I highly recommend that you do, and this would be one that I would think you should take a good look at. It's a really good balance of features. It's got everything, in my opinion, everything you want and nothing you really don't need at a really affordable price. Doesn't make it cheap, but it certainly isn't way up there in your custom 1911 stratosphere, if you will. So we did our safety check. Let's talk about some of the features, some of the things that I really like about this particular handgun. One, it's got beautiful wood grips on it with the Ruger logo. That's something that you're not used to seeing, obviously. I'm glad Ruger did finally decide to make this gun. Good checkered grips. It's got the flat mainspring housing, which I prefer, along with the checkering back there, which I prefer over the bump out style big time. It's also got the extended beaver tail, okay, the hand grip for the safety, and what you want to make sure that you do is get the extended grip so that you don't get that hammer bite. I know on some of the I have shot some of the earlier models, an actual World War II military version of this, and hammer bite is definitely one of the issues. So you get saved from that on this particular one. You've got an extended thumb safety, hence the cocked and locked terminology. You've got a real nice positive engagement, good click. There's no wiggle in that at all. And now you can strap across this if you want to carry this gun, and you've got the cocked and locked scenario. It's also got a slightly extended slide release and slide stop. Slightly extended mag release. It is a right-handed pistol, just so you know. It is not ambidextrous. There is no safety on this side. There are some rumors that they may be coming out and offering another model of this that will be ambidextrous, and that'll be a good thing for you lefties. My son, Noozer Dude, is a lefty, but he loves shooting this gun as well. But again, for right now, it's just the right hand. It's got a skeletonized trigger, aluminum. And it's also got a travel overstop on it. I find this to be an extraordinarily good trigger. I have not done a trigger job on this at all. I simply shoot it the way it is out of the box. It's got about a 4.5 pound pull. It's very crisp and very repeatable. So you know exactly where it's going to let go, and it's a super shooter. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't love shooting a good 1911, and this is a good 1911. You can pound nails with it all day long. It's one of the guns I am the most accurate with. It's also got the skeletonized hammer. It has a machined slide, and it's machined from a single block of aluminum. It's got very tight tolerances. You've got the serrations on the back for the grab. Nothing on the front, because you don't do a press check, because it does have a sighting hole here to make sure that you know whether or not it's loaded. But very tight, great machining job they've done on this, and they've also done some things with the bar stock in terms of the bushing down here as well as the slide, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when we field strip it. We're going to strip it real quickly. Novak sights, typical 3-dot Novaks. Great sight picture. They're both adjustable for windage, front and back. One of the things I'll show you right here, and this is really important to some people, Prescott, Arizona, Ruger SR1911. It's made right here in the U.S., and that's important to a lot of people. Now, I own Glocks, I own Berettas, I own Smith & Wessons, so I've got guns from all over the world. It's not a huge deal to me, but it is nice to know that a 1911 that was designed and used by the U.S. military, every single part on this, right down to the springs, the nuts, bolts, all of it are made right here in the U.S., and that is a big deal to some people. So it's fun to know that you can get a gun that's still made 100% here in the United States of America. What else do we like about this? I love the stainless steel. I think it's a great look. I do have another set of grips. I use the Pierce grips just because I think that gives it a really cool offset with the stainless steel. I put these back on for our review today, but I do use those normally because you've got the black accents going against the stainless steel. It comes with 2 mags. You've got the traditional 7-round mag, stainless steel again, and you've got the 8-round mag, stainless steel. These both come with the pistol along with the bag, and you've also got a wrench for up here. I just use my thumb. I don't bother using the wrench at all. It's not a big deal to me, but if you like it, you've got it included with the pistol. So that's what comes with it. No hard case for it or anything, but something to keep it protected in your gun safe. All right, let's go ahead and field strip our Ruger SR1911, which, by the way, they're a little tough to get a hold of if you haven't noticed already. I feel very fortunate that I was able to get one like a week or 2 after they came out. They are in low supply, but I think Ruger underestimated the demand, quite honestly. Who thought that somebody would want a brand new SR1911 or a brand new 1911 in the market? And it's done really, really well. And I think it is because of the features and the money and the everything they've got packaged together. It's just really, really a good package. So we'll get the field strip going here. Get some stuff out of the way. And this is what's going to prove that this is a traditional 1911, if you will. Start right up here and move that out of the way. Take that off, swing that back around so we can get the bushing off. Slide this back. There's a little notch right there. You can see you got to line that up perfectly right in there. Push it out. Again, just like any other 1911 that you've had looks with. I think I got a dummy scratch there a little bit. That's I tried hard not to, but I think I've got one of them in there. And then at this point, obviously, take the bushing out. Remind me to talk about that because that's a big deal. And then we just slide the whole thing off. Once we've got it off, take our spring out, and we take the barrel out, and we now have it completely field stripped. So the first thing that, or one of the things that you'll notice as we pulled this apart is it's got the traditional recoil spring and guide rod assembly. It is not a full-length guide rod. It's the traditional short one with the spring and the cap on it. I prefer that. I'm not a full-length guide rod kind of guy. People are. That's absolutely legitimate and up to you if that's what you prefer. But I like the more traditional design. One of the very unique things about the way that this gun is manufactured is the slide and the bushing come out of the same piece of bar stock. So in other words, when these get machined, this particular piece goes out of this piece of bar stock as well, and then these two travel as a pair through the rest of the manufacturing process and end up going back together. So the tolerances between here, the bushing, and the bar stock, and the slide are phenomenal. In fact, the machining on this gun altogether, in my opinion, is absolutely top rate. You do not see any machining marks in here. It's a very, very clean, well-cut piece of bar stock. The fit between the frame and the slide is incredible. I've dealt with a lot of 1911s, shot a lot of different 1911s, and there's no slide rattle on this thing at all. It's a very, very nice machine fit. So let's talk about the slide a little bit. As you'll see, and what you may have already noticed if you're familiar with 1911s, this is a 70 series type slide, not the new Series 80. And again, this is something I prefer heavily. I think not having the additional firing pin safety, firing pin block in there is, it lends to making it easier to field strip, it lends to having less go wrong, and I don't think it's necessary. And that's due in part to the fact that they are using a titanium firing pin, and they're also using a very heavy titanium spring, so that really eliminates the necessity for having to put an additional safety device on this particular unit. So I prefer it this way completely. Tears down very nice. You got your locking lugs there. You know, typical 45 barrel. It's got the typical loop on the end of the barrel itself. It's nice and clean, all that good stuff. I do like keeping my my firearms in good shape. You take a good look down there, but that may be extraneous. But anyway, ooh, see, isn't that nice? All right, so you know, those are some of the things that I really like about what Ruger has done. The 70 series slide is a big deal to me. The fact that it's machined out of a single piece of bar stock, I don't know that that's necessarily all that unique, but they do a really nice job of it. I do like the fact that the bushing and the slide go down the assembly process together and were machined out of the same piece of metal. For fit and finish type things. You know, frame, very typical, nothing you know, to talk about here. It's just a very traditional 1911 frame with everything you would expect. All right, well, let's get this SR1911 back together, take it over to the range and throw some lead. What do you think? Those of you who've got a 1911 or know somebody who has a 1911, you know that there's a little more to taking them apart and putting them back together than you know, most modern guns, you know, what I call the polymer guns, if you will, Glocks and, you know, you name it. But once you've done it a few times, it's not that big a deal. Sometimes you got to jimmy with this and screw around with that a little bit, but by and large, they tend to work out just fine, like right there. That just took a little jimmying to get that in the right spot. And get the slide on. Try and keep that, that part forward. And once we get her in there, there we go. Get that in there right. Pop this back in. Get this back to the position it belongs. And again, that's a very small little spot right there that you got to pop that down into in order to get that back where it belongs. Pop that down, bring it over. And we're good to go. Let's go do some shooting. It's nice, fat 45 AC. Gotta love it. Flyer there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 must be in there somewhere, and there's 7. So that's one flyer out of the bunch. That's not bad shooting. Say it's a really easy gun to shoot. Very, very easy gun to shoot. It comes right back down into your sight picture. It's got enough weight to it that it doesn't, you know, it pops, but it comes right back. It's not like a polymer gun where you're going to get a lot of blowback on it, so it's a sweet shooter. What do you think?
Nice gun.
Like the way it shoots?
It is, absolutely. It's got enough weight to it that shooting a 45 doesn't feel like you're going to blow your hand off.
Yep. Ruger SR1911. Got to get you one. And there it is, the Ruger SR1911. My probably favorite 45 ACP. It's a sweet, sweet shooter. You can pound nails with it all day long. I think Ruger's done it really, really right. I appreciate your hanging around for my inaugural video here. I want to thank Huguenot, my cameraman, for all of his hard work. And I would appreciate any postings coming back saying how I can improve these or what other things I should do. Be nice to me. It is my first video. But I hope you enjoyed it, found it informative, and I appreciate you stopping by Crucible Arms.